Alright, first of all, I apologize for the rain noise and any of that and the shaky camera. This is just on a phone. I don't have any way to get rid of the rain noise or my camera shaking. I guess I don't have a tripod. But with that being said, this is a 1971 Allison Daytona. And if you've never heard of an Allison Daytona, it's this really rare dune buggy, factory dune buggy from the 60s and 70s, and this is the last production year of one. And it's been sitting underneath this awning for, I think it's like 6 years, 7 years. The owner just hasn't had time to fix the motor because the motor's blown. And they're basically just sitting on top of a Volkswagen Beetle chassis with a 1.6 inline, or not inline, but 1.6 flat 4. With a 1.6 flat 4. Making around 60 horsepower and 82 foot-pounds of torque. It's got really, really wide tires for the rear, 10-inch rims with, for what this is, with 60s on it. And this car is crazy that it's down here because this was made by a Californian boat builder, the Allison Daytona by the same name, back in the 60s. It was a surfer and a boat builder from what I could find. And this is the 4-seater model, which is a particularly rare one. And basically all this car was a Volkswagen Beetle they took and they built 2700, I think. And they took the body off of the Beetle and put this fiberglass shortened frame on it. Now this one's also missing the rag top. That's why it's parked underneath the awning. And as you can see, it'd probably clean up pretty good as right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that paint looks like it's in pretty good shape underneath all this dust. It was a 4-speed manual car, which it's a Beetle, of course it's a 4-speed manual. I mean, they didn't really I don't think they had an automatic Beetle, because this is pretty much just a fancier Beetle, or a cooler looking Beetle. That's really all this is. And what's even more crazy is this is in the South. So this is a Southern Beetle. A Southern dune buggy. Now, as far as location, that's all you're going to get. I ain't going to say where it is because I was told not to, so not going to. Out of respect for the owner. I'm just going to say we're in the South, and we're not near a beach. But now, these cars were not fast cars. They were just a beach cruiser back in the day. Somebody would use. I don't really know much about the dune buggies. I did a little research before the video, and like I said, I could tell you most of them are just BMW. Most of them are BMWs. Most of them are just Volkswagen Beetles that have had a body swapped. And this particular one is not in terrible shape. It's not in great shape, but I bet it'd clean up really good because since it's fiberglass, and since it hasn't really been sitting out in the open, it's not all that rusty. I think the underneath is pretty solid. And the body ain't going to rust out because it's fiberglass. It don't have any rot on it either. Now, the seats, the vinyl seats, are probably going to have to be reupholstered. And the carpeting redone, and the steering wheel redone. Because as I said, it sat for a long time. Fuel tank's probably going to have to be dropped. But it'd make a really cool car to restore. And as I said, the vinyl top, the rag top, that would go right over it, should be resting in here. but that is missing currently because I think it got holes in it or something. It got ripped open, so he sent it off to be fixed, and he's still waiting on them to fix it. He's kind of aggravated because it's taking them an absurd amount of time. Well, they never fixed it, actually. I'm not even going to pretend that. They never fixed they never fixed it. They basically stole his top. Now it did have it had all the Beetle stuff in it. I don't think it had any extra options. It's a dune buggy. And it's a Beetle. That's about as basic as you can get. There's not really much to talk about a Beetle on, other than the fact that this is a very rare dune buggy kit, and it's really cool because this isn't a Beetle. This is a dune buggy. Well, essentially it is a Beetle, but you get my incoherent rambling. It is a rear engine car. It's a rear engine with a rear transmission with a fuel tank in the front. Meaning it's a supercar, essentially, yeah. 60 horsepower, 80 foot-pounds of torque. This thing probably does 300 miles an hour. Oh, sorry for the shaky cam, by the way. And I joke about that, but I bet it was a pretty fun car to drive. I bet it still is a pretty fun car to drive because that Beetle engine back there, you'd probably throw a new battery on it, put some fresh gas in there, change out the fluids, and it'll probably crank right up. They're about the simplest engine you could possibly get, and one of the most reliable. I'm trying to get better angles on this car. I do apologize, and I apologize for the shaky cam. As far as I can tell, it's only got like one speaker in it right there, which I'm sure is not good no more. And as I said, the tires, a little too wide for this car, but it's just for looks. And you can see the motor right there. He's got another motor sitting right over there. But other than that, yeah, this is just a little cool car I wanted to show off. I don't really have much more to say about it. The trans, you can... the little boot's broken. And the seats still feel relatively soft, even though the front ones are rock hard. The rear ones just bolted onto the rear. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, apparently the two-seater is the rare. The four-seater is the rarest of all these Allison dune buggies. There's another speaker right over there, right down there. And you've got your gauges. It says they'll do 90 miles an hour. Had 36,000 and 78 miles. That's probably not actual. It's probably 100. It's probably 100,000 miles on this car. With the bug headlights, as I call them. And a really cool pinstripe. Well, I guess that's enough of my rambling, though. I pretty much ran out of things to say about this, because there's not really much to say about it. But with that being said, if you've made it this far, you at least like hearing my voice. So, thank you for watching, and please consider, like, commenting, subscribing, all that jazz. If anybody you think wants to see this video, share it with them. It really helps the channel. If you want to help out the channel, like, comment, subscribe. I know I just said that. I'm sorry. Because it does really help the channel. But with that being said, thank you for watching. and I guess have a good one. Yeah.